My name is Diamond. I am the girl with hip dysplasia, and welcome to my video. Hip dysplasia is a condition where your hip joints your hip joints don't form correctly. Um, Basically, the hip socket is a little too shallow for the ball of the hip bone, and it can just cause a varying levels degree of pain. And cause other issues in the body. As we can imagine, when one part of the body is off, other parts of the body become affected. I will specifically be talking about how chronic pain messes with your mental health. The two have a strong relationship. As you can imagine, being in pain, even for a little bit, is painful. It hurts. It makes you feel down. Like you're usually not happy when you're in pain. So then feeling that chronically, meaning for a consistent long period of time, you can imagine the ways in which it really brings your mental health down. So in this video, I want to talk about that a little bit more specifically, and provide some more information, some more research and stuff like that around how chronic pain can affect your mental health. I think this topic is super important because on my journey of dealing with chronic pain, I've come across so many people who have chronic pain, especially young people. I think as we age, obviously we know that our bodies, maybe breaking down, we may experience more aches and pain and stuff like that. So generally, like, we expect the older population, like kind of above 65, to be experiencing chronic pain of some sort. But I wasn't prepared for how many young people, like 40 under, that are experiencing various different forms of illnesses or conditions or whatever that's causing them to deal with chronic pain. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to define chronic pain. What is chronic pain? Chronic pain can be defined as pain that persists for more than 3 to 6 months. You don't have to experience the pain every day. However, there needs to be some sort of frequency or consistency. So that's kind of the basic general definition of chronic pain. There's another part to chronic pain called high impact chronic pain. Now that is defined as pain that is restricting like a major life activity, such as being able to work or go to school. So that affects your ability to make money to survive. If your pain limits you or stops you from being able to do your daily life activities, it's like for your survival, such as bathing yourself, taking care of yourself, cooking for yourself, doing your laundry, like going out to buy your groceries, all those things. My chronic pain is not high impact. At one point it was in the beginning when I first started experiencing symptoms from my hip dysplasia. The pain was so severe that I couldn't take care of myself. My mom had to come stay with me for a couple weeks to help me like get in and out of the shower, help me to do my laundry, like by cooking me food, everything. Thankfully, we have like delivery services, mad expensive, but I had to order my groceries. Um, yeah, like I was really down bad. However, through surgery and physical therapy, I've been able to become more mobile again. So my chronic pain is no longer high impact. Oh, also I couldn't go to work, so I was forced to just quit my job out of nowhere because I was working a very in-person job that could not be transferred virtually. So yeah, it was high impact for that time. Now that we're on the same page about chronic pain, I want to share a bit of statistics about the amount of people who suffer from chronic pain. According to a study, I think done in like 2020, they found that 20% of US adults had chronic pain. That was about 50 million people. And about 8% of those people had high impact chronic pain. So that's like another 20 million people. Those are high numbers. Millions upon millions of people. 50 million people is a lot. People are just out here suffering in silence, just raw dogging life, being in pain every day. Like, it's wild. I had no idea what chronic pain came with, and how it really can impact one's life until I went through it myself. Which leads us into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is how exactly does chronic pain affect your mental health? People experiencing chronic pain are at an increased risk of developing depression, anxiety, substance abuse disorders, and even thoughts of suicide. A study showed that 35 to 45% of people with chronic pain also experience depression. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, who is happy when they're in pain? You're not happy when you're in pain. It sucks. So then to be experiencing that every day over and over again, like I feel like there's no much explanation needed for that. But to make matters worse, the depression can make the chronic pain worse. So you're experiencing pain, right? Over a period of time. It's making you depressed. Then being depressed literally makes your body more sensitive to pain. So now you sad because you feeling pain. And then you feeling more pain because you sad. And you feeling more pain because you sad and pain. And you feeling more sad. Like it's giving ping pong back and forth of disrespect. Like, what? There's also a fun fact I came across, and I should have done more research before I recorded this video. But I had heard something somewhere that the part of our brain that senses pain or perceives pain runs not alongside, but it like crosses paths with another part of our brain that it perceives and, like, I guess processes, I don't know, our emotions, which like makes a lot of sense as to why experiencing pain can also come with emotional feelings. So for example, like when you're experiencing a heartache, sometimes, or even grief, sometimes a lot of the times you're experiencing physical symptoms with that. Even though you're not physically hurt at all, you're feeling, your stomach may be hurting, your chest may feel really tight or feel really heavy, you may have body aches. Even though you're not sick, you do not fall, nothing like that, you're just sad or you're experiencing a heavy emotion. So when you think about it the other way with pain, it because because the pain perception neurons or whatever's going on is running alongside the emotion stuff. I'm saying this so terribly. Emotion stuff, you can imagine that you're already down because you're in pain, but now you're even more down because that part of your brain is just being lit up even more, it's being activated even more. So yeah. I mentioned also anxiety and substance abuse disorders. The anxiety, that can come from so many things. It can come from you being anxious about the pain and, like, maybe sometimes feel like you're gonna die, not knowing if it's gonna get worse, like not knowing what's going on, possibly if you're not diagnosed with anything. Anxiety about the ways in which the chronic pain is disrupting parts of your life. For example, if you can't work because of the pain, now you're anxious about money and how you're gonna survive. As far as substance abuse disorders, people can cope with the pain using substances, which can lead to addiction, etc., etc., etc. And then lastly, with the thoughts of suicide, all of these things that I just mentioned can lead to feelings of hopelessness and despair, deep sadness, loneliness. You may be isolated because of the pain, or you may isolate yourself because you're not happy, and everything hurts to move. So you can imagine how that may make someone have thoughts of, like, I don't want to be here anymore. I can't go on living like this. So yeah, something as just feeling pain every day can just lead down a dark path of struggling with your mental health. Okay, so beyond mental health disorders, like I mentioned before, chronic pain can just disrupt so many parts of your life, um, that can leave you feeling mentally unwell. It can affect your sleep quality. You're in pain, maybe you're in pain. Laying down is not really making the pain go away. So now you're having trouble finding a comfortable position to sleep in. The pain is waking you up, it's disrupting sleep, all of that. Tossing and turning, like you're not getting good sleep. We all know how we feel when we have not been having a couple good nights of sleep. We're cranky, we're irritable, we're tired, fatigued, we're all these things, stressed out. And then we also know the ways in which our brain doesn't rejuvenate and heal itself if it doesn't get proper sleep. So that can also that definitely leads to feeling mentally unwell. Chronic pain can also disrupt your day-to-day hobbies. If you're a person who's really active and now you can't do those things anymore, you may become mentally unwell because you can't engage in activities that brought you happiness, that helped you to de-stress. And beyond day-to-day hobbies, just day-to-day activities. I know I get so irritated sometimes by the fact that I can't do a lot of things in one day. And we already know working Monday through Friday, the weekend is really your only time to get your whole life together. But I can't do my laundry, go grocery shopping, meal prep, clean the house. I can't, and hang out with folks. Like I can't do all those activities in the span of 2 days. Like that's just too much on my body. And you gotta pick and choose. And I know I'd be irritated, like, oh, other people could just sit here, go out and do it. Like they don't gotta wake up and be like, what am I gonna prioritize today because I can't do it all. You know, like it's frustrating. That frustration builds up anger, it builds up sadness, it adds to the grief you're feeling about how your life is affected by the pain. Um, Speaking of, chronic pain can disrupt your social life. Once again, you may just be in too much pain to want to hang out with your friends, or you can't do certain activities anymore because of the pain that you used to do with your friends. Um, so you may feel more isolated, and or you may isolate yourself because you just want to be alone and don't feel like being around people, or dumping all your emotional issues because of your pain, or you know yeah. I know for me, sitting for me can be very uncomfortable. um so when I'm hanging out with folks, like my mental load is being taken up by the fact that I'm in pain and I'm sitting with pain, but I'm also trying to have a good time. And sometimes I just don't have the energy to be dealing with all of that. Sometimes I'm just in a bad mood because my pain got me in a bad mood and I don't want to see nobody. And there's other times where it's like people may want to do something like walk around a lot, and I'm like, child, I'll meet y'all there. Like I could Uber from place to place or something, but I can't be walking out here for 30 minutes to an hour. Like I'm gonna suffer the next day, for the next subsequent days, and possibly even weeks and months. So it so for me, it hasn't completely changed my social life, but I'm just thinking about other people too. Like this is how chronic pain can disrupt your social life, leading to feelings of mental unwellness. Romantic partnerships, same thing with the social life. Having all this pain may affect who you partner with and how you partner with them. You may feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I can't go on certain dates. Um, you may feel like you don't want to like burden somebody with all of your issues. You're not sure how they're gonna handle it, how they're gonna support you. Um, just thoughts you may have. It may what you. It may lead you to these feelings, all these feelings internally. Having chronic pain adds another layer of how you think about your own life as a person experiencing the pain, and then how you think about the people who are supporting you, and who are with you. The second to last thing on my list of how I see chronic pain disrupting people's lives is their spiritual life. If you are someone who um, just has a strong spiritual practice or religious practice, um, going through a life altering event can change how you view your beliefs. It can change how you view yourself. it can impact your relationship with God or whoever you believe in. I know that happened with me when it felt like my world came crashing down. I was not having it. I was so angry with God. I didn't want to talk to him. I was saying, how can you do this to me? How would you let this happen to me? Like, literally, I just finished grad school, about to finally start a career that I'm feeling super happy about. Like, it felt like my life was just finally beginning, and then I'm in the bed, can't move, and now I have a long-term condition that could lead to all this other stuff. And I was sitting here like, is this a joke? Like, what did I do to deserve this? How could this be for the betterment of my life? How could this be for me prospering? Like, I was really going through it spiritually, really, really, really going through it. And lastly, I saved the best for last. Chronic pain will most likely affect your finances. Chronic pain is expensive. It's expensive. If you're experiencing chronic pain because you have like a illness or a physical disability of some sort, you're also trying to treat that issue. So you're trying to do things to relieve the pain, and you're trying to treat what's going on. Or if it's something that cannot be cured, you're just trying to manage it. So that comes with appointments to specialists, which we know healthcare in this country ain't cheap. Appointments to specialists. It comes with all types of imaging that costs money. It comes with possible mobility aids that cost money. It comes with medications. It comes with medications that cost money. It comes with other types of pain relievers like heating pads. I can't even think of it. Ice packs. This, that, and the third. Like, this stuff, it adds up. I know for me, I used a cane for a while, so I had like 2 different canes. I have like 2 heating pads, one for the house, and then one that's portable. I have a bunch of workout equipment. Child, and it didn't really work out that much. Before this, like, I danced and stuff like that, so that was kind of my workout, but I wasn't like doing traditional like weightlifting and traditional workouts. But now I have no choice but to keep my muscles strong and flexible and mobile. I have all this stuff, all these little stretching items, little weights, dumbbells, this, that, and the third, to make my workouts a little easier, resistance bands, all of that. That stuff costs money. And don't get me started on transportation. Like, I don't understand why there can't be free transportation for those struggling with a disability and pain. I mean, there probably is free transportation of some sort for people who have like more severe things going on. I don't know. I don't really believe this country that much to have stuff for free like that. But I don't know everything, so it could be something out there. I know there's like reduced fare for like seniors and people with disabilities, but free. But yeah, I'm like, the amount of money I've had to pay on Ubers for like something that could have been a 10-15 minute walk because I just really couldn't walk it. Like, it's so, first of all, it's irritating, but two, it's expensive. It's expensive. There's so many other things that cost money when you have chronic pain that I didn't even say. Oh, like delivery services. When I was talking about how I had to get my groceries delivered, that stuff adds up. Again, plenty of other things, but having chronic pain affects your finances. So then, let's say you can't work that much because of your condition. But then your chronic pain is expensive. Like, it don't add up. It don't make sense, and it's stressful, and leads to all the other emotions again that just have you feeling mentally unwell. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I could go on and on and on and on. But that's kind of the basic gist of how I see chronic pain affecting people's mental health. Um, Again, to summarize, it can cause like actual mental health disorders or exacerbate ones you may already have, and or it can just lead to feel deep, heavy emotions that can be really hard to manage, such as hopelessness, despair, sadness, loneliness, grief, anger, etc., etc. Um, and it's important to recognize this because it's easy to get caught up in the emotions and then shame yourself for it. It's easy to judge oneself for feeling these feelings, to shame yourself, to try to do everything you can to get rid of the feelings instead of deal with them. But these feelings are a normal part of experiencing chronic pain, especially when the pain is taking so much from your life. It is important to acknowledge that these feelings may come up, most likely will come up, so you can create a plan of action for how to deal with them when they come up. The biggest part of dealing with my chronic pain has been accepting that I'm going to constantly feel these emotions. It's gonna be a roller coaster, especially when I'm experiencing more intense pain on some weeks and days and weeks, whatever, than other days. It's just gonna happen. So I've I really have taken the time to child. My phone died while I was recording. Thankfully, it died at the end. Um, so I had to let it charge, whatever. But I just wanted to say goodbye. I don't even know what I was saying. I should have looked at the last part before I recorded again. I think I was talking about dealing with these feelings, having an action plan. I plan on making a bunch of videos about coping with chronic pain based on how I've been coping with the pain and how I've seen other people cope as well, and just manage their pain, even though everyone's pain management plan can look different, but also just managing the emotions that come from the pain. What I want people to get most from this video is to just have more compassion. For those suffering with chronic pain, I hope that this has reminded you to have more compassion and grace for yourself. And for people who are not suffering with any pain right now, I hope this increases your capacity of compassion for others. I know for me, before all of this, I, get irritated when somebody walking slow in front of you or something. At least I do. But now I'm much more inclined to first think, oh, maybe something's going on. Maybe they have this, maybe they have that. Like, I don't know. We can always use more compassion in this world. So that's really all I have to say about that for now. I would love to hear about people's experiences in the comments. Community is important, and I want to create another community that people can tap into, to talk about their chronic pain, talk about how they're dealing with it, support one another, and just have a space of encouragement and motivation. It's hard out here. It is hard out here. It's not easy, but we need each other. We do. And yeah, welcome to my little corner of the internet. Once again, you have tuned into the Girl with Hip Dysplasia, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.